What is it? I don't know. Castle Cove versus Voda. Which development should be approved? They both have such compelling reasons, but will the people want it? Do they work with the area? Who decides this? Does Dartmouth really need a Darkside Pete's?
Looks like you're interested in planning. That's right, Timmy. Planning is a diverse and open field. Do you want to see what it's all about?
Yeah.
Let's go.
This here is the technocrat, the specialist, the be-all come-all of planning. This is the planner who is trained to be a planner. It consumes them. They forever strive to find the best way to plan the city. To the technocrat, planning is a science, not one with flasks and test jars, but one with pavement, people, and economic drivers. Starting in the Industrial Revolution, planning came about ad hoc. Engineers, scientists, health officials, and some politicians stepped up to the podium and created organization and structure to the city. Maps, streets, income distribution, and more, the variables they worked with and molded to create the perfect city for man.
Wow, such passion, such rigor, such scientific understanding with how planning works.
That's right, Timmy. The technocratic planner is a passionate and driven one. They're experts in their fields and they know what's best.
But what do you even know? I've been living here my whole life in the same house. I've grown my garden every year. I can't even grow parsnips. Parsnips! They're the easiest thing to grow. And now my husband is even more useless than he already was because he's sick. You don't know anything. You don't know the community. You don't know anything. Get away from me.
I've assessed the issue at hand, and it is true, the factory does pollute. But without it, there would be no jobs. It would be economic suicide. We can't shut it down, so instead we'll be creating a new rapid transit line to connect a brand new neighborhood for you all to live in to the down. You'll be able to grow crops, your husband's health can improve. You can then take the bus to the factory to work. It's downright genius if I say so myself.
I can't spend time on the bus. I must tend to my children, and I need to get an education so that I can get away from working from this gosh darn factory of yours.
The new subdivision will solve all issues. I've crunched the numbers. Income levels will be higher, and people will be happier.
I've been living in this house before you were even here, like I said, and my youngins and I will be here long after. We're gonna run this town regardless of your factory, so goodbye.
I told you, I've crunched the numbers. Heritage has little benefit to the city as a whole, and that's why the oldest house in your neighborhood will be turned into a museum, which will attract people from around the world. Economic drivers and prosperity are what drive this city, and the museum and factory will drive people to it. Into an age of prosperity, the new subdivision will provide homes and happiness. Your concerns have been heard, and they've been addressed in the best way possible.
But the people at the podium look so upset. Don't they know how they want to live their life? Shouldn't they know how to live their communities best?
Timmy, the technocrat knows what these people want, knows what they need. After all, they are the specialists in the field, the experts of the plan.
What is the best plan? What is the best planner?
Well, actually, Timmy, the best planner might be... What?
Mr. Planner, the people have spoken. There's a new parcel for development, and they want an amusement park. Make it happen.
Great.
Wait, what? Mr. Planner, there's a new parcel up for development. The citizens want an amusement park. Make it happen.
You got it.
The citizens love the amusement park. They want a school now. You can also make that happen.
planner is never done, Timmy. Even when the site is fully developed, there will be ongoing maintenance and new trends to consider. The planner is here to serve the public. They work on behalf of the government and make the public's dreams come true, even if that means a roller coaster in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
So the planner just has to keep changing the concept?
It's what the public wants, Timmy. But actually, this is the referee. Try as they might, they have little say in the matter. Their opinions are dominated by the petty political concerns of this here mayor. While they are able to voice their opinion on the goals of amendments in the final decision, the mayor will choose the solution based on what these interest groups have to say. I'm allergic to bees. I can't have bees near me. If my neighbor has bees and the bees get into my yard and they sting me, I'm gonna be dead. How do we control the bees?
You make a good point. I mean, what happens if they get hurt?
Not the bees!
I think bees are great. Urban beekeeping is on the rise, spurred by an alarming decline of the global bee population due to insecticides, diseases, and parasites, including the deadly varroa mite. Honey and beeswax are incredibly versatile. Artisanal honey production is very popular right now, and if you have a vegetable garden, a beehive can dramatically boost its production. Bees are the perfect pet and provide a return of incredible, beautiful honey.
Wow, I didn't know that much about bees. I think they sound like a really good idea for the town.
Well, thank you to the planners and the presenters, but no bees.
So why do they even have the planner presenting?
In this case, the referee is seeking compromise rather than a rational process based on their own technical analysis. Now, let's move on to the next planner, Timmy.
Hello, Madam Mayor.
Yeah, we need to get rolling on that parking garage permit.
I thought that parking garage project was dead. The public consultation was a disaster. The community hated the idea of building over the Heritage Park.
It's important to the success of the business district. Don't get over it.
Without public support.
Well, also, there's talk that the head planner wants to spend more time with his family, so his spot will be open.
Oh.
It'll surely need to be filled by someone who shares the vision of HRM and its council. A strong business community is part of that vision.
I see.
Well, this is your chance to show if you support that vision.
Yeah, hi. Pull everything you have on Heritage Park Square and meet me in my office.
You capitalist pig! We were supposed to be doing this planning thing together. You're supposed to be for the people!
Sir, please.
This is a nice new office you've got here. Must be really nice to be as fancy as all of this.
Wait, what? Why would the planner do that?
Because, Timmy, like other bureaucrats, planners crave continued career advancement. Their top priorities are prestige, income, security, and power.
That sounds wrong. I thought that was politicians, not planners.
Well, Timmy, as you can see, you're not alone in that thought.
This is the state agent. The state agent has the wonderful opportunity of working with politicians.
Thank you everyone for coming. I look forward to representing everyone as your new counselor. I promise during my time as counselor, you can trust that I will value your resources and capital in responsible ways. I promise as counselor that I will find housing for every citizen. And I will also put parks in every neighborhood.
I'm telling you, sir, housing for everyone and parks in every neighborhood is simply not feasible. We can't deliver on these promises.
What are you talking about? These are promises that I made to my constituents. They're expecting me to deliver on these things.
I'm sorry, sir, it's just not something that we can do. I've spoken to everyone I can speak to, and I've done everything I can do. It's just not feasible.
Your job isn't to tell me what you can or cannot do. Your job is to act on what I tell you to do. Now get doing. I'm sorry, everyone. We've done everything we could, and I can't complete my promises. Okay, that's good.
If the planner fails to protect the rules and regulations, not only do they fail as planners, but the promises and systems upheld by the state can be in real trouble too. Now who's next?
Timmy, this here is social learning. They are focused on creating a dialogue between.
Thank you. I think I know what I am. Timmy, please make yourself comfortable. Now, Timmy, you've not met a planner like me before, but we're moving into a non-Euclidean world of many space-time geographies. And as a result, the engineering model of planning, it no longer applies, and we must abandon it. Theory and practice, knowledge and action, they must be treated as an integrated whole, in a present-day time frame, and as a unique planning event. The uniqueness of each problem, each planning situation, deserves its own body of theory and practice, developed through a mutual learning process.
Euclidean mutual what now?
Noted, non-Euclidean mutual learning process. Essentially, the planner plays a role not unlike that of a psychiatrist. Instead of top-down planning's reliance on the planner's authority and knowledge, we must create a two-way dialogue between the planner and the client. The client can, with the planner's help, elucidate their objectives and mutually develop plans and policy. Throughout this dialoguing process, the planner helps to inform the citizen of their rights and their options, but more importantly, they listen to the client, to the citizenry, through community meetings, large and small. And in these meetings, not only does the public become more informed, but more importantly, planners learn the public's feelings towards an issue, their aspirations and visions for the future, and their ideas for possible alternatives. So Timmy, now that you've been properly informed, there's only one question to ask. How does that make you feel?
Well, actually, Timmy, let's go look at the next planner. Next up, Timmy, is the social reformer, the most radical of planners. They don't look to just have dialogue with the citizens, they look to empower them.
Timmy, everything you've been told is a lie. That planning psychiatrist, he claims to work with people, but he doesn't. He doesn't empower people. He still sees himself as a professional, talking with the public. We need to go further.
That sounds really inefficient.
Well, effectiveness is a much nobler goal than efficiency. What are you, some kind of bureaucrat?
No, I swear, I just want to learn.
Well, learn this. This capitalist world is chaotic. Planners need to use that to their advantage. They need to play the powers that be against each other whenever possible. When the neoliberal capitalist politicians say they want to cut transportation spending, what you do is you point out to business owners that their employees and their precious goods shipments will get delayed in traffic. And then, when they start pushing for more efficient road use, you push for bike lanes and light rail. Then, they must empower the people, allowing them to form their own planning bodies made up of their own chosen community leaders and accountable directly to them. The city should fund these bodies, so they'll have the power to hire and fire their own planners and lawyers. And these community planning bodies will enter into joint policy boards with the city, giving the people direct say on policy matters. There will be no smoke and mirrors and participation and dialogue. On these boards, the community will hold the majority of seats, and it's the city that will capitulate to them. Long live the people. May the faceless planning machine die.
But what is planning? What's a planner?
Well, you see, Timmy, planning is a diverse and complicated field.
But they all claim to be the best planner.
Well, the planner is all of them. They all must work together to be the best planner.
But they all know everything. How can anybody be the best if they all know everything? They all know the best practices.
They all know the best practices in their respective ways of planning, but that's not to say that one best practice is the only practice. They have to find ways to work together and to help guide the citizens of the cities they planned.
But all of them know everything. What's the best? What's the best practice?
The planner both knows all and knows nothing. They rely on the people they work with and work for to help guide them.
But how do we know who the best planner is? How do we know what the best practice is?
Oh, Timmy, it's all about community engagement and planning for the future. It's about applying the best practices which can help communities grow and adjust as well as they can.